Hi, Dave Holcomb here for Football Nation and MTR Media. Even though the NFL has officially begun its offseason, it's still making major headlines in the news this week regarding marijuana use in the league. Now, Jets cornerback Antonio Cromartie came out on Wednesday and flat out said players should be allowed to smoke pot. Now, that got a wide variety of responses from the media and fans alike. And then on ESPN's First Take on Thursday, they were asking Steelers safety Ryan Clark about the situation, and he said he knows teammates and other players in the league that use it as a stress reliever. They use marijuana as kind of a way to relax and get through a very tough, brutal NFL season. Now, there's many different directions you can take this debate in, and Tom Pollen, my co-host on I-80 Sports Talk, and I plan to do just that on our show on Friday night. It starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Roger Goodell, on the other hand, isn't taking the debate in any direction but one, and that is that the drug will not be allowed, not permitted. It's against the current CBA, which was agreed to in 2011, and that CBA has still 7 years left until it expires, and it's a drug that is tested for and is an illegal substance according to the league. My question, though, for our listeners and for Roger Goodell, really, how can an NFL rule supersede a state law? According to Washington and Colorado state law, those two states where the Seahawks and Broncos, the two Super Bowl representatives, they're from those two states, they have legalized recreational marijuana. And this whole scenario and situation kind of reminded me of last year's NFL draft, where teams were so curious about Manti Te'o's sexuality, and a few other players were asked questions about their sexuality. But certain teams were not allowed to ask those kind of questions in their interviews. Teams from California, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Washington, and Colorado, and there might be a few others that I'm leaving out, teams residing in those states were not permitted to ask questions about sexuality to potential draftees. So my question is, how is this situation any different? How can Roger Goodell ban recreational marijuana for teams like the Broncos and the Seahawks when state law says it's allowed? You can call into our show that starts at 7:05 I-80 Sports Talk on MTR Radio. The number is 609-910-0687. You can also follow me and tweet at me, DM HOLCOMB. I'd love to hear what you think about this whole debate on medical marijuana, recreational marijuana as well, in the NFL.